You are standing on an African savanna. It is 1.5 million years ago. The grass is dry. The sun is high. The air shimmers with heat. In the distance, you see smoke. A lightning strike has set a patch of grassland on fire. You have seen fire before. You have watched it burn, watched it spread, watched it die. You are not stupid. Fire is dangerous. But today, something is different. The fire has passed, the flames are gone. What remains is a smoking landscape of blackened earth and charred remains. You walk toward it. You are hungry. Among the ashes, you find the body of a deer. It did not escape the fire. Its skin is blackened and cracked. Its flesh is brown and steaming. You tear off a piece. You put it in your mouth, and everything changes. The meat is soft. It is warm. It falls apart in your mouth. It tastes different from anything you have ever eaten. Your stomach accepts it without protest. Your body absorbs its energy with ease. You eat more. You feel full in a way you have never felt before. You do not know what has happened. You do not know that you have just discovered cooking. But your ancestors will remember this moment. They will pass down the knowledge. They will learn to make fire themselves. They will learn to control it, to keep it, to carry it, and they will never eat raw food the same way again. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why humans are the only animals that cook their food? Every other species on Earth eats its food raw. Lions eat raw meat. Chimpanzees eat raw fruit. Bears eat raw fish. Only humans apply heat to their food before eating it. Why? The standard answer is that cooking makes food taste better. But that is not the full story. Cooking does not just make food taste better. Cooking makes food more digestible. It breaks down tough fibers. It kills pathogens. It releases nutrients that would otherwise pass through your body undigested. In short, cooking predigests your food. It does part of the work that your stomach would otherwise have to do. And that, more than any other factor, is what made you human. Let us start with the evidence. When did humans first control fire? The earliest confirmed evidence of controlled fire use comes from Wonderwork Cave in South Africa. A 2012 study by Dr. Francesco Berna at Simon Fraser University analyzed sediments from the cave and found evidence of burned bone and ash that date back 1 million years. The fire was not a wildfire. It was contained within the cave. Someone was making fires inside that cave on purpose. But 1 million years ago is not when humans first controlled fire. It is just the oldest evidence we have found so far. Some researchers believe that fire use goes back even further. A 2017 study by Dr. John Gowlett at the University of Liverpool reviewed the archaeological evidence for early fire use across Africa and Eurasia. Gowlett argued that hominins may have been using fire as early as 1.5 to 2 million years ago, shortly after the appearance of Homo erectus. The evidence is patchy because fire does not preserve well in the archaeological record. Ash blows away. Burned bone degrades. Charcoal decays. But the patterns that survive suggest a long, slow process of learning. Early humans did not wake up one day knowing how to make fire. They spent hundreds of thousands of years learning to control it. First, they learned to use natural fires. Then they learned to keep fires burning. Then they learned to start fires themselves. Each step took tens of thousands of years. Let me tell you how fire was made before matches. The most common method was friction. Rubbing two pieces of wood together generates heat. If you do it right, the heat creates a small ember. The ember can be used to start a fire. There is an entire technology behind this. The hand drill, the bow drill, the fire plow. Each one is a different way of converting muscular energy into thermal energy. It takes patience. It takes strength. A 2016 study by Dr. Andrew Sorensen at Leiden University tested the efficiency of different fire-making techniques used by ancient humans. Sorensen found that experienced firemakers could produce an ember in under 30 seconds using a bow drill. but inexperienced firemakers could take more than 10 minutes. Some could not do it at all. Firemaking is a skill. It requires knowledge, practice, and the right materials. Not all wood works. Not all conditions are suitable. Humidity kills your chances. Wind helps or hurts depending on the direction. Ancient humans had to learn all of this through trial and error over thousands of generations. Let me now explain what cooking does to food at a molecular level. When you heat food, several things happen. First, heat denatures proteins. It unravels the long chains of amino acids, making them easier for your digestive enzymes to break down. Second, heat gelatinizes starches. It makes complex carbohydrates more soluble and more digestible. Third, heat softens cell walls. It breaks down the cellulose and pectin that plants use to hold their shape. Fourth, heat kills microorganisms. It sterilizes food, making it safer to eat. There is also a chemical reaction that makes cooked food taste different from raw food. It is called the Maillard reaction, named after the French chemist Louis-Camille Maillard, who described it in 1912. This reaction occurs when amino acids and reducing sugars are heated together. It creates hundreds of different flavor compounds. It is the reason bread develops a brown crust. It is the reason seared meat tastes richer than boiled meat. It is the reason coffee has its deep, complex flavor. The Maillard reaction is what makes cooked food taste like cooked food. Think about the last time you watched a cooking tutorial on YouTube and saw someone searing a steak. That sizzling sound, that deep brown crust forming on the surface. You were watching the Maillard reaction happen in real time. Different cooking methods produce different chemical results. Roasting exposes food to dry, high heat, creating a crispy exterior through rapid Maillard browning. Boiling surrounds food with water at 100 degrees Celsius, extracting flavors and softening tissues without browning. Steaming cooks food with vapor, preserving more water-soluble vitamins than boiling does. Smoking combines cooking with preservation, infusing food with compounds that inhibit bacterial growth while adding flavor. Each method was discovered through trial and error over thousands of years. Each method extracts different nutrients from the same ingredients. Ancient humans did not understand the chemistry, but they understood the results. Tougher meats became tender through slow roasting. Bitter roots became sweet through prolonged boiling. Grains became edible through grinding and heating. Cooking is not one skill. It is a family of skills, each one a small technological revolution. Let me give you a concrete example of the nutritional difference. A raw chicken breast contains about 20 grams of protein. If you eat it raw, your body can absorb about 12 grams. If you cook it, your body can absorb about 18 grams. That is a 50% increase in protein absorption, just from applying heat. The same applies to plant foods. A raw potato contains starches that your body cannot digest at all. A cooked potato releases those starches for easy absorption. A 2011 study by Dr. Rachel Carmody at Harvard University tested the effects of cooking on energy extraction in mice. Carmody fed one group of mice raw meat and sweet potatoes. She fed another group the same foods but cooked. The mice that ate cooked food gained more weight and had more energy. They did not eat more, they just absorbed more from what they ate. The same is true for humans. Cooking effectively increases the caloric value of food without increasing the amount of food you eat. It is like getting a raise without working more hours. Let me tell you about the most important idea in the study of cooking and human evolution. The expensive tissue hypothesis, proposed by Dr. Leslie Aiello and Dr. Peter Wheeler in 1995. The expensive tissue hypothesis argues that there is a trade-off between brain size and gut size in the human body. Both organs are expensive to maintain. The brain consumes about 20% of your resting energy. The gut consumes about 10%. If you want a bigger brain, you need either more total energy or a smaller gut. Cooking provided the smaller gut. When humans started cooking food, they no longer needed large, powerful guts to break down tough raw food. Their guts shrank. The energy saved from having a smaller gut was redirected to the brain. This is not speculation. The average human gut is about 60% smaller than the gut of a similar-sized primate. Chimpanzees have guts that are significantly larger than ours, relative to body size. They need those large guts to digest raw plant material. Your smaller gut is the mark of a cooked food eater. Aiello and Wheeler, S 1995 pascals per sound, that the increase in brain size in human evolution correlates with the appearance of cooking. As cooking became more common, brains got bigger. It is a direct relationship. Without cooking, your brain would be the size of a chimpanzee. You would not be watching this video. You would be picking fleas off your friend. Let me now tell you about the social consequences of cooking. Cooking changed not just what humans ate, but how they lived. Before cooking, eating was an individual activity. You found food, you ate it on the spot, you moved on. After cooking, eating became a group activity. You brought food back to a central location, the hearth. You shared it with others. You sat together while it cooked. You talked. You planned. You bonded. The hearth became the center of human social life. A 2015 study by Dr. Susanna Herculano-Housel at Vanderbilt University analyzed the relationship between cooking, sociality, and brain size across primate species. Her team found that species that spend more time feeding together have larger social networks and larger brains. Cooking created the conditions for human sociality. It created the first kitchen, the first place where humans gathered to share not just food, but stories, knowledge, and relationships. The hearth also changed the daily rhythm of human life. Before fire, your day was determined by the sun. You woke at dawn, you slept at dusk. After fire, your day could extend into the night. You could see after dark. You could work after dark. The fire extended your active hours by several hours per Dalton Yai. That is more time to make tools, to plan hunts, to share knowledge. More time to be human. The hearth also became the first classroom. Children gathered around the fire to listen to adults tell stories. Those stories contained knowledge about hunting, about plants, about dangerous animals. It was for cooking minds. The fire created something else too. It created safety. At night, predators lurked in the darkness. Leopards, hyenas, saber-toothed cats. All of them could see better in the dark than humans could. But fire changed that. Fire deterred predators. It created a circle of safety, where humans could sleep without fear. That circle of safety became the center of human settlement. Around it, humans built the first permanent camps. Around it, they raised children who could grow up without the constant fear of being taken by a predator at night. The fire did not just cook food, it protected sleep, and protected sleep meant more time for the brain to consolidate memories, to process learning, to grow. A 2016 study by Dr. David Sampson at Duke University analyzed sleeping patterns across primate species. Sampson found that humans get significantly more REM sleep than any other primate. REM sleep is when the brain processes emotional memories and creative insights. Fire made deep sleep possible by creating safety at night. Deep sleep made human cognition possible. Let me tell you about the invention of pottery and boiling. Controlling fire allowed humans to do more than just roast meat. They could boil food. Boiling requires a container that can hold water and withstand heat. The earliest pottery vessels date back about 20,000 years. Before pottery, humans boiled food using other methods. They dropped hot stones into water-filled pits lined with animal hides. They used wooden troughs filled with water and heated stones. A 2013 study by Dr. Oliver Craig at the University of York analyzed lipid residues on ancient pottery from Japan, dating back 15,000 years. The residues showed evidence of cooked fish and shellfish. These were the first soups. Boiling changed the nutritional landscape again. It allowed humans to extract nutrients from foods that were previously inedible. Bones can be boiled to release marrow fat and collagen. Tough roots can be boiled to make them soft and digestible. Grains can be boiled to make porridge. Boiling opened up an entirely new category of food. It also made food safer, because boiling reaches a higher temperature than roasting and kills more pathogens. A 2014 study by Dr. Sandra Bodler at the University of Western Australia found that the invention of boiling vessels coincided with a population expansion in East Asia. Better nutrition meant more babies surviving to adulthood. Let me tell you about the raw food diet. In recent years, some people have advocated for a raw food diet, claiming that cooking destroys nutrients and that humans should eat the way our ancestors did. This is based on a misunderstanding of our evolutionary history. Our ancestors did not eat raw food. They have been cooking for at least 1 million years. Your body has evolved to expect cooked food. A 2011 study by Dr. Catherine Milton at the University of California, Berkeley analyzed the digestive physiology of humans compared to other primates. Milton found that humans have significantly smaller teeth, smaller jaws, and smaller guts than would be expected for a primate of our body size. These features are adaptations to a cooked food diet. Your body is not designed to eat raw food. It is designed to eat food that has been processed by fire. This does not mean you cannot survive on raw food. You can, but it is harder. Raw food requires more chewing time, more digestive effort, and yields fewer calories per g-gram. A raw carrot takes about 15 minutes to chew thoroughly. A cooked carrot takes about 30 seconds. Think about the energy your jaw muscles burn during those extra 14 minutes. That is energy your brain could have used. A 2013 study by the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology found that people on a raw food diet consumed fewer calories than people on a cooked food diet, even when they ate the same volume of food. Many raw food dieters lose weight, but some struggle to maintain a healthy body weight. Some develop nutritional deficiencies over time. Cooking is not a luxury. It is a biological necessity for humans. Your ancestors made a bargain 1 million years ago. They traded raw power for cooked efficiency. They traded large guts for large brains. They traded the strength to tear raw meat for the skill to control fire. That bargain turned a medium-sized ape into a planet-dominating species. And it all started with a single bite of cooked meat on an African savanna. Let me tell you about the health consequences of the cooking revolution. Cooking made food safer. Before cooking, foodborne illness was a leading cause of death. Raw meat is full of pathogens. Raw plants can carry parasites. Cooking kills these threats. It made human life longer and healthier. But cooking also created new health problems. When humans started cooking food, they began eating more calories than they needed. Obesity became possible for the first time. When cooking techniques became more sophisticated, humans began adding fats, sugars, and salts to their food. These additions made food more palatable. They also made food more addictive. A 2018 study by Dr. Dana Small at Yale University analyzed how cooking affects the brain's reward response to food. Small's team found that the combination of cooking, seasoning, and food processing creates a supernormal stimulus that overrides the brain's natural satiety signals. Your brain tells you to keep eating even when your stomach is full. Cooking made food so rewarding that your brain cannot stop saying yes. It is not your fault that you cannot resist French fries. Your brain was designed for a world where food was scarce and cooking was rare. Now food is everywhere and cooking is instant. Your brain has not caught up. You have seen the cooking competition shows on Netflix, chefs turning simple ingredients into extraordinary dishes under pressure. That is not just entertainment. It is a celebration of the one skill that made us human. Let me tell you about something called the cooking drive. Some researchers believe that humans have an innate drive to cook, not just a learned preference, but a biological instinct. A 2019 study by Dr. Richard Wrangham at Harvard University, the leading proponent of the cooking hypothesis, argued that cooking is a universal human behavior that is reinforced by a biological reward system. Wrangham pointed out that no human society has ever been observed that does not cook its food. Not one. In every culture, in every climate, in every time period, humans cook. Even in the hottest places on Earth, where food would spoil quickly and cooking seems unnecessary, humans still apply heat to their food before eating it. This universality suggests that cooking is not a cultural invention. It is a biological adaptation. Like the ability to digest lactose in some populations, the ability to thrive on cooked food became fixed in the human genome. People who could not digest cooked food did not survive as well. People who could digest cooked food thrived. Over time, the entire species became dependent on cooking. Your craving for warm cooked food is not a preference. It is a biological drive. Let me now ask you a question that will make you think differently about every meal you eat. The next time you sit down to a warm meal, pay attention to what is happening. That warmth is not just temperature, it is energy. It is food that has been partially broken down by fire. It is food that your body can absorb with minimal effort. That piece of bread you are eating. It has been processed by heat. That piece of meat, cooked. That vegetable, roasted. Almost everything you eat has been transformed by fire. You are a cooked food eater in a raw food world. And you have been for 1,000,000 years. This dependence on fire is what allowed your brain to grow to its current size. It is what allowed your ancestors to spread across the planet, from the frozen Arctic to the burning deserts. It is what allowed human populations to grow from thousands to billions. Fire gave you the energy to think, to build, to create, to dominate the planet. But here is the uncomfortable part. That same fire is now threatening your survival. The fossil fuels that power modern civilization are just ancient fire. Burning them is creating a planet that may not support the kind of food production you depend on. Climate change is already affecting agriculture. It is already affecting food prices. It is already affecting water availability. The same fire that made